Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on KALH, weather always comes first. Warm temperatures continue over the western U.S. today and may break or tie current high and warm low records. In the east, dry conditions and gusty winds are bringing elevated fire weather to parts of the eastern U.S. with critical fire weather in the southern Appalachians. Closer to home, chance for showers and storms today and tomorrow. Above average temperatures are going to persist through the week into the weekend. Breezy winds return to the forecast on Friday and Saturday. Allergy sufferers be advised that tree pollen remains moderate while dust and dander are very high. Those with sinus issues and or asthma can expect to have a rough day. We'll have another look at the weather following this news.
This is roadblock information for Wednesday, 26 March. Roadblocks are subject to change without notice. Highway 70, Highway 54, Highway 380, Las Cruces Gate, El Paso Gate, and Nike Avenue will remain open.
A traffic stop in Alamogordo resulted in 2 people in their 60s being arrested and nearly 500 fentanyl pills and several guns being found. At around 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, March 19th, agents with the White Mountain Drug Task Force and the Alamogordo Police Department executed a narcotic search warrant during a traffic stop. During the investigation, 491 fentanyl pills, 4 guns, and cash were found. As a result, 64-year-old Craig Donaldson of Alamogordo was arrested and charged with driving under the influence of liquor or drugs, trafficking a controlled substance, and conspiracy to traffic a controlled substance, while Paula Gordon, 63, also of Alamogordo, was arrested and charged with trafficking a controlled substance and conspiracy to traffic a controlled substance. They were both processed and booked into the Otero County Detention Center and are awaiting court appearances. The Alamogordo City Commission regular meeting took place last night. The only thing that really jumped out at me was the overview of the hiring process for a city manager with discussion and possible direction to staff.
One of our commissioners approached an applicant, basically gave her the impression that she was not a viable candidate.
One of the commissioners approached
One of the commissioners,
candidate?
yes. One of the commissioners. And in addition to that, and it's the Sacramento Mountains Foundation who offered to pay for...
Well, we all know that, yes.
Well, actually, no, I didn't know that because I'm actually a little miffed that they would approach 2 commissioners and I knew nothing about it until I just found out.
I told you.
Well, you didn't tell me who it was. I actually thought it was somebody else, and I think
Sacramento Foundation.
Okay, but the problem is the chair of that foundation made a visit yesterday, even though there was an email put out that said, from our acting city manager, that said, I cannot discuss this with you because I'm an applicant. He chose to come over anyway and speak with her and basically almost told her verbatim or used the same language that one of our commissioners used. And I was concerned enough about it. Listen, I am, regardless of what people think, I'm all about transparency. And this process needs to be fair. And at this point, I'm very concerned that this process has been tainted, and I want it to be fair. And in the interest of fairness, I think one of the things that we need to consider is going out for RFP and allowing a search firm that the Sacramento Mountains Foundation has gone as far as getting prices, getting bids. Okay, we're the city. That's our job. And that's fine if they want to do that. But how do we demonstrate to the public that we're being fair and transparent when we have an outside entity who says they don't want to be involved? And I believe them. I take them at their word. But how do we demonstrate to the public we are being transparent and we're being fair in the process when we have this outside entity that basically is getting bids on search firms? I mean, we can't do that. And I am, if nobody else sees the problem with that, then okay. But boy, it was a red flag for me. I was uncomfortable the first time you mentioned it. I'm really uncomfortable now. I think that we need to, at this point, let a search firm handle it, but I think that we need to go out for RFP and have a fair bid process across the board. Follow state procurement laws. I'm not comfortable with this.
For the record, the foundation offered, and this is for all the Alamogordo residents, the foundation offered to pay for the headhunter firm. They didn't offer to pick it.
I
That's up to
understand
us.
that.
They offered to pay
Right.
for the headhunter firm, and they also offered to pay a supplement of X amount of dollars up to a certain amount to get us to where we could get a very, very qualified city manager, to get
But
the
see,
salary.
when you make a statement like that,
Mhm.
you're already suggesting that one of our applicants is not.
I'm not. I'm just
but
saying.
that's the and this is my concern. It's the impression that you're leaving that one of our applicants is not qualified, and that concerns
I
me.
don't know
think
because we haven't seen them. We've only seen
no. What
half of
you
them.
said was they offered to get us a supplement to get us a really, really qualified applicant. How do
A
we know we
seasoned-
don't already have a really, really
We may.
qualified applicant?
We may, but until we review the additional ones that are here tonight, which we're going to go do, we can review what's here. And then if we decide at that point that we don't see anything we like, then we go and hire a firm.
I understand that. But what I'm telling you is one of our commissioners has already made a comment to one of our applicants suggesting that they are not even going to be considered.
I don't know which commissioner that is. So
I could say it, but I'm not going to. Well, no, I mean, I will. If you all want to know, I'll tell you. I'm just telling you that the applicant was uncomfortable enough that it was brought to my attention.
Mhm.
I'm uncomfortable enough that I can't even believe it. And the bigger issue is the commissioner said it to her, and then the chair of the Sacramento Mountains Foundation came and basically said almost the exact same thing, word for word. The statement was made, well, you'll be okay in the background, or you'll be okay, right? You'll be good even if you don't get it. You'll be good. You'll be fine because you like working in the background. That was the statement made. So I'm asking, how do we prove, in the interest of transparency, that we're not compromised in some way? How do we do that? And I think at this point, we've got an issue. And quite honestly, I gotta tell you, being the mayor and having to deal with this sucks. And I'm just gonna say it. And yes, you can put that on the record. It sucks. And I don't like it because I am super uncomfortable and I'm super frustrated. The one thing I always say is, this is why we can't have nice things. Well, this is why we can't have nice things.
Following that, they adjourned into an executive closed session. You can see the meeting in full on the City of Alamogordo YouTube channel. The Village of Tularosa's website was suspended as of last night. No word on how or why. We did reach out to village officials, but got no word back. The Gale Fire remains atop people's minds. Adrian Hedden of the Alamogordo Daily News gave an update.
Looking at the latest results, it was at 238 acres on the 20th. They've got it 25% contained now. The last, what was going to be the final update was issued on the 21st. It's down to 108 acres. Still investigating the cause of it. It was 2 miles west of Mayhill. No threat to structures. They jumped on this really quickly, and looks like they've got it contained.
Hedden appearing on KRWG. The Republican Party of Otero County invites all Republicans to join them for their monthly meeting. That is tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the 19th Hole Restaurant. New Mexico Representative John Block will be speaking. The Progressives of Otero County have a series of protests going on, including this Saturday. Shara Atkinson speaking with Crazy Radio.
The Progressives of Otero County are continuing our protests in tandem with the groups all across the nation to protest the state of our democracy under the current regime. We have protests every Saturday at noon at 10th and White Sands, and a sister protest at the same location on Monday afternoon from 3:30 to 5:30. And all you need to do is show up. We have extra signs. And with the recent news of deportations and classified information leaked to journalists by high administration officials, we need to intensify our protests and have our voices heard.
You can hear our conversation in full on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, 575-442-1676. News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices.
AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
From basic to advanced computer repairs, it's GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Local business owned and operated by Greg Gutierrez. Available for on-site work from 9 to 6 daily. Installations, upgrades, even virus repair. For information, email Greg at GalacticGeeksPCRepair.com. Google IT support, professionally certified.
Yesterday, Judge Grace Duran ordered that Gustavo Dominguez, 17, Nathan Rivas, 17, and Josiah Ontiveros, 15, are to remain in custody at the Donna Ana County Detention Center instead of being released home with supervision, as each poses a risk to the community. Those are the minors involved in the Las Cruces shooting from this past weekend. Duran says she cannot ignore the loss of life and cannot ignore that there could be more. Representatives from each suspect's probation offices all recommended that they are not released. Each suspect walked into the courtroom handcuffed and emotionless. Las Cruces Police Chief Jeremy Story led a press conference detailing the events of Friday night through redacted police body camera footage, images, and 911 calls. All 4 suspects have a criminal history, and police recovered 5 firearms from arrested suspects, 3 of which have been reported as stolen.
There is a potential for additional people to be charged with crimes related to this event, either through state courts or federal charges.
Chief Story went on to say that juvenile crime is a problem throughout the state and that nothing meaningful was accomplished at the state's last legislative session to address those concerns.
This is not about politics, but it is about policy. Police chiefs from across the state and the New Mexico Association of Chiefs of Police have been screaming from the rooftops about a very serious juvenile violent crime problem we have in New Mexico.
District Attorney Fernando Macias is requesting that all juvenile defendants be kept in custody pending legal proceedings. A mother and father are facing child abuse charges after their infant was exposed to fentanyl on Monday. Espanola police says a child suffered from an overdose as a result and now remains in neonatal intensive care. Officers were dispatched to the Espanola Presbyterian Hospital. The mother and father had rushed to the ER after the infant's condition became abnormal. Police found that both parents regularly use fentanyl in the home. The mother told officers she and her husband were recently charged with child abuse in a similar situation. The infant responded positively to Narcan. The father also had to be treated for self-induced overdose symptoms. The parents are being charged with first-degree abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm and third-degree abuse of a child. CYFD was contacted. A bill to limit the use of cell phones in New Mexico schools and incentivize districts to institute policies is headed to the governor's desk. New Mexico Senate Bill 11 is called the Anti-Distraction Policy in Schools. It puts aside $10 million to incentivize school districts to come up with their own policies in order to limit cell phone use in the classroom. That $10 million would then be used for things like cell phone lockers or pouches. Republican State Senator Crystal Brantley of Elephant Butte introduced that bill. After passing the Senate, it passed the New Mexico House of Representatives in a 59-4 vote. Brantley says part of her motivation for the bill was her 2 teenage daughters. She says the average teen is on their phone far more than 5 hours a day, and she added this is more about improving academic performance and children's mental health. Brantley spoke with KOB.
We use our phone for work. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's difficult to work without your phone.
It's how I tracked you down here in the roundhouse.
Exactly. It's important to have kids in the classroom are not using this for school.
Other states have already taken action requiring schools to ban cell phones in the classroom. My thought is, why are we more concerned about kids using cell phones than those committing violent crimes? Sports and weather are coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
The University of New Mexico's men's basketball head coach, Richard Pitino, will be the next head coach at Xavier. The decision came after Pitino made back-to-back NCAA tournaments in 2024 and 25. The Lobos won the regular season Mountain West title after a 17-3 conference record. Pitino was also named the Mountain West Coach of the Year. Pitino came to UNM from the University of Minnesota, where he coached for 8 seasons. There are 5 games today for New Mexico softball, nothing locally, and there are 9 games for New Mexico baseball, including Centennial at Roswell. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly cloudy skies. There's a 30% chance of showers and storms, winds gusting up to 15 miles per hour. New rainfall amounts are expected to be less than 1/10 of an inch. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a 30% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts are expected to be less than 1/10 of an inch. Partly sunny tomorrow with a 30% chance of showers and storms. Your high today in the basin, 82. Low tonight of 50. High tomorrow, 79 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and storms today. Winds will be gusting up to 15 miles per hour. New rainfall amounts are expected to be less than 1/4 of an inch. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers and storms. New rainfall amounts are expected to be less than 1/10 of an inch. Partly sunny tomorrow with a 40% chance of more showers and storms. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 61. Low tonight of 35. High tomorrow, 59 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and you can learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting KALHradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. And that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.